welcome back to my channel. No, shut up. Hello and welcome back to my channel. I have had major construction work going on outside my flat and it's been a nightmare. So hopefully that's not too distracting today. I thought I would show you how I could do a full face of makeup without using any brushes, and the reason why I'm doing this is because I have just this morning washed all my brushes, so they're all wet and drying at the moment, but often I still use just like a beauty sponge, a lot of cream products on my fingers to do my makeup, and I thought I would show you how to do that today for those days where you, for some reason, decide to wash all your brushes at the same time, like I do. Okay, so generally with the type of look I'm going to do today is it ends up being quite natural, which is great because I like that fine, but obviously it's almost impossible to do like a crazy colorful eye or smoky eye look without any brushes, so I thought I'd keep it quite natch. I have done my brows already. I used my Benecos eyebrow designer in the shade Blonde, and then I'm trying out the new Catrice Brow Colorist semi-permanent brow mascara, which is interesting because supposedly tints your eyebrows slightly, so we'll see how that goes throughout the day. But if you'd like to see the look that I create, then just keep watching. Okay, let me see, what should I start with? Okay, well, seeing as the eyes are going to be pretty minimal, what I'm going to first do is I'm going to take my Revolution Beauty liquid highlighter in the shade Liquid Champagne, and I'm just going to take some of what's on the dropper and plop that onto the higher points of my face, because obviously we won't be able to apply a powder highlighter today because we don't have a brush, and I don't actually have a powder highlight with me at the moment. And then with my fingers I'm just gonna smush it around. This is a super intense highlighter, which is also why I'm doing it underneath my foundation, because the foundation I'm using today is quite sheer, so this will just kind of show through nicely from underneath. So basically I'm just going to look like a bit of a tin man. Okay, next what I'm going to do before I apply my foundation as well is I'm going to take my Essence Camouflage Matte Concealer in the shade 30 Light Honey, and I'm going to take the smallest amount because this has got crazy coverage, and just do a little bit of spot concealing, because as I said before, my foundation that I'm going to use is quite sheer. And then once again with my fingers I'm just going to lightly tap that out. Okay, foundation, Essence Fresh and Awake, Essence Fresh and Fit Awake Makeup Healthy Glow in the shade 20 Fresh Nude, and I'm afraid it's on its last legs, but there's a shite ton of product still left in here even though I can't get it out with the pump. I'm going to apply a nice generous amount of that because it is pretty sheer, and once again with my fingers I'm going to blend that in, and then what I'll do is I will revisit that with a beauty blender once it is kind of distributed evenly. Okay, I'm just going to give my sponge, because it is dry, a quick spritz of my Apothecary Herbal Air Freshener and Skin Spitzer. And then I'm just going to blend that in. Usually what I would do when I'm putting on my foundation is take it kind of over my eyelids, but because today I don't have a brush to set anything with powder, I'm not going to be applying any concealer or anything onto my lids, just because then I know that if I do it will still crease and I'm not going to be able to prevent that, which I don't want. It's also a telltale sign as to when you should be washing your brushes, because I often find that when mine get too gross, then I do generally break out a lot easier than usual. Okay, I'm also just going to take a little bit more of that concealer and place the tiniest amount underneath my eyes and a little bit of my chinnery. Any excess from my chin I'm just going to pat up along my nose. When I can't set my under eye concealer with powder because I don't have any brushes, I just use a far tinier amount and just blend it out with my finger, so a lot of the excess product isn't there, so then it's less likely to crease as much. Also, what I'll do is throughout the process of applying my makeup, I'll just keep returning to my under eyes and patting it out, making sure that those creases stay away. Whatever's left of my finger, I'm just going to pat underneath the brow bone. So there's the base. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my Catrice Cosmetics Contouring Cream Palette. I think this is in the shade CO1 Each and Every Cream. Doesn't make any sense. It's just a cream contour shade and a cream highlighting shade. I'm not a big fan of the highlighting shade. It's kind of just a bit greasy without much highlight to it, but I do really like the contouring shade, so I'm just going to swish all my sponge around in there, and then I'm going to start doing some cream contouring. Okay, so I do have a product from the Body Shop called, it's called Honey Bronze, and it's called Highlighting Dome, and this is a kind of an interesting consistency because it is like a cream. It feels like a cream. It's just quite dry for a cream, and this is beautiful because it's a blush, but it also has a beautiful shimmer in it. So what I'm going to do on my finger is I'm just going to take this and kind of pat it to where you would apply blush, but at the same time it'll also give you a beautiful glow as if you were wearing highlighter as well. I got this from my friend Kaya, so thanks Kaya, love it. I'm just gonna go over everything with my sponge to make sure it's all kind of blended together really nicely. Okay, for eyes, I'm going to be using just a simple cream eyeshadow, obviously the easiest to apply when you don't have a brush. This is the Revlon Colorstay cream eyeshadow in the shade 740. Just have another name? No, 740. Looks like this, very pretty. And I'm just gonna take, I've got so many products on my fingers, the tiniest swipe of that and pop it right on the middle of my eyelid. It doesn't have much of a base pigment to it, so it kind of just adds like a beautiful cool tone sheen to the eyelid. I've probably mentioned this about 500 billion times before in my videos, but Alana is probably one of my favorite YouTubers, and she's so pro using her fingers, and I've really gotten stuck in on that trend since I've been watching her. So as you can see, it decides to focus, and it gives like a beautiful shimmery glimmer, which is real nice. I actually want to go and pick up some more shades of this particular formula because it's beautiful. Okay, mascara. Essence Volume Stylist 18-Hour Lash Extension Mascara with Lengthening Fibers. That is it for the eyes. For the lips, what I really like to do, is we're using our fingers predominantly today, is apply, this is just a peachy lipstick. The brand has worn off, so I can't tell you where it's from. I just apply a little bit kind of roughly all over, smooch it around, and then I just tap it out. So it kind of gives that worn in look to it and gives you fuller looking lipperoos. I'm also just going to dab my finger back in that bronze, Honey Bronze blush highlighter that I used. I'm just going to tap that in the center of my lippies. And that's the final look. And it took me literally maybe 10 minutes to do in total. And this is like a typical day-to-day look for me. Amped up a bit with the shimmery eyeshadow, and it's super glowy and dewy and wonderful and fresh, and that's how I would do a full face of makeup without using any brushes at all. So if you enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you could give a thumbs up, leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you, any of your suggestions or recommendations, and I will see you again for another video later on this week. Bye.